Hey, Pat Rigsby here, and I've got the second episode of my 2021 predictions. We covered a number of those predictions in the first episode, so if you haven't checked it out, go back and review that. But in this episode, I've got 5 more predictions for you to kind of explore and see what might fit in your business. So let's get to it. All right, we've got 5 more predictions today. We've covered a handful of predictions. We've kind of talked about some of the things that are maybe not going to thrive in 2021. We've talked about the upside that potentially comes along with small group training, semi-private training, and one-on-one, whether it's in facility or in home. So what else has real upside going into 2021? Well, the first thing I would tell you is the hybrid business model. Being able to serve people in a mix of offline and online, I think is really the way that facility-based training businesses should go, or really any business that kind of has a foundation of offline training. Even if you were an in-home business, I think hybrid is only going to grow and only going to be more successful because I think that that's the way that most people's life functions, right? Most people are kind of tethered to their technology in some way or another. And so being able to deliver some of their program to them and make them feel more connected 168 hours a week instead of just 3 hours a week will create better relationships for you. It will make people less dependent on the in-person experience should we run into a situation where maybe they can't come in and experience things in facility quite as often. So the hybrid business model, I think, is the way forward if you're going to make offline a significant piece of what you do. Now, I've talked about hybrid at length, so I'm not going to go into it in great detail now, but a great hybrid experience does have something live. It has something that's on demand. It has an accountability component, a community component, and a personal attention and connection component. If you've got all 5 of those boxes checked, you're going to be in good shape. And it doesn't have just kind of this one way of looking at it. Hybrid could be primarily one-on-one offline. It could be small group offline. There are a number of ways to approach this, but understanding that your client is under your care, whether they're in your facility or in a live training session or not, you're still responsible for impacting their results. You're still responsible for being their coach and serving them and helping them reach their goals. So the hybrid model is going to continue to grow. I think that 2021 is kind of just the kicking off point of people being able to proactively develop the optimal hybrid model for their business. I think a lot of people kind of had to back into it and be reactive in 2020 just to stay afloat, but now we get to kind of shape and craft the business that we want. And if I were you, I'd consider the hybrid model in that kind of building or remodeling phase. The second thing that I'd tell you that it's not going to come as a surprise to you is that online training is only going to continue to grow. I mean, we see people throwing literally hundreds of millions of dollars at it when it comes to Peloton, when it comes to Mirror, and so many of the other kind of bigger competitors. Online is only going to continue to grow. I think this idea that people are becoming more and more comfortable training at home, they're more and more comfortable having their coach come to them through a screen rather than being face-to-face, that's not going to regress. It's not going to revert back to this thing where people don't want to train online. The segment of the market that's comfortable training online is only going to continue to expand. I mean, I don't know if you remember back to the point where a lot of people were really uncomfortable shopping online at one point, right? They weren't comfortable putting their credit card into a site on the internet and trusting that things were going to come to them, or shopping for clothes because they couldn't try them on. People got past that, and now online businesses, it's kind of the way to go if you're going to be in retail. But the same thing's happening with fitness, and it doesn't mean that the offline is going to die off. It means that if you're not accepting of the fact that the market is definitely starting to shift to more comfort with online coaching and online training, you're going to miss out. You're going to be left behind. Now, there are a few different ways that you can do this, and I'm going to talk about the client-centric part of this later with another of my predictions, so I'm not going to dive into it now. But if you're one of those folks who said, okay, you know what, I'm able to go back in my gym, I'm good, and you've shut down all your online offerings, I would tell you to rethink that strategy. I would tell you to figure out something that you can continue to build online, whether you want to see that as your virtual second location or just a profit center within your business, or just kind of that hybrid model where you're at least having other mechanisms to care for your current clients. But I don't think that I would go completely back to analog if I were you. Now, the next prediction that I have coming is I think there's going to be a continued growth of nutrition coaching and wellness coaching online and people seeking that out. I mean, it's no secret that diet books are one of the biggest sellers on Amazon. Diet books are always a big seller, but I think that now, no different than, people saying, okay, I'm going to hire a coach to help me get fit instead of being self-directed with their exercise program. I think all those people who are interested in diet books and recipe books and everything else online, many of them are going to be looking for nutrition coaching. They're going to be looking for wellness coaching, health coaching to facilitate their execution, to hold them accountable, to help them persevere through the challenges and changes that they're incurring. And so if you're not integrating that into what you do, and if you are exercise or workout only, you're probably missing out on an opportunity to not just better serve the clients you have, but to also attract the clients that you want to serve. So if you're not diving into that, now would be the time to explore it. I know in my previous offline businesses, nutrition coaching was a big driver for the success in what we did. And not only was it a huge profit center, but it also it also represented the clients who got the best results with us because, it facilitated such a big piece of body composition change, just having direct coaching, having accountability, getting people to stay on track. And then the next thing that I'd tell you may come as a little bit of a surprise, but I fully expect that challenges are going to make something of a comeback. I think that, we had our fill of them as an industry, and there was such a saturation point because there were so many people doing these free but not free, lose 20 pounds in 6-week challenges. And so it kind of hit a diminishing return point, right? But now I think that people are looking for, some accountability, but they don't necessarily want to overcommit. They don't want to commit to some program in perpetuity. They want to kind of mitigate the risk or the exposure of commitment because things change so quickly today, but they still want results. So I fully expect challenges to make a comeback in 2021. And I think that people running challenges at the first part of the year are going to see a real positive uptake. And those people doing it in kind of a hybrid fashion where there's a lot of support online are going to see even more success. So challenges, I think, pose a really significant opportunity. And then the last prediction that I have is something that I probably am carrying forward from things that I've talked about all year this year, is the fact that client-centric businesses are going to be the ones to thrive, because the businesses that are so dependent on their workout process or their training tools, we saw that was kind of a bad recipe this year because things would change and maybe people couldn't follow that workout process exactly as planned, or people couldn't come in and use those training tools in person. And so those businesses didn't really have the ability to pivot and still be high value to the people that they serve. However, client-centric businesses that's in, their core focus was on the client's success, solving their problems, helping them go from where they were to where they wanted to be. Those businesses, they adapted better than anybody. They said, okay, look, maybe I can't solve their problems or help them achieve their goals in this way, but here are all these other ways that I can do it. And so many businesses found other ways that in some cases worked even better than what they were doing previously. So the businesses that are truly client-centric, the businesses that are going to be sensitive to how clients feel about safety, how clients feel about their comfort in the environment that they're in, the client's desire to maybe mix some in person, some online, and really just be focused on what the client wants, what the client needs, and how the client feels. Those businesses are going to really have a leg up on everybody else in the industry in 2021. So 2 episodes, a number of predictions. Hopefully you can use some of those and kind of blend them into what you're doing. I'm not telling you you need to remodel your entire business and completely change it, but there are probably some things that you can update, some things that you can change, and maybe some things where you can really get excited about the new opportunities ahead. So if I'm you, I'm not getting in this kind of negative mindset and saying, man, 2020 was a challenge. 2020, it didn't go the way I wanted. I would look at this as an opportunity to really ascend because, let's face it, a lot of businesses in our industry aren't going to adapt. They're not going to make it. They didn't do a good job. And so the people they served are going to be looking for other solutions. And then some of those businesses, they may survive, but they may be doing things in a way that isn't attractive to the people that used to come in and work out at those clubs or be part of those large group training programs. So they will be looking for a different solution. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity. There's going to be market share up for grabs. These predictions, these ideas will help you get your share and be successful in the next year and beyond. Thanks for watching. If you click the first link in either the description or the link in the pinned comment, you can get my latest book, The Ideal Business Formula, for free. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button for me. If you have any questions or comments or video requests, leave me a comment below and I'll be quick to respond. And lastly, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm posting videos weekly now, and if you turn your notification bell on, you'll be sure to get them all.